Hello everyone, in this video I'll show you how to use the content modifier, how to simulate iFlow steps, how to work with some basic expressions and help you understand the difference between message header and exchange properties. This is the basic iFlow that we created and tested in an earlier video. Let's build on this integration process and add a step to it. So you can see there are different icons present on top of the page. This is what we call a palette. Each icon has a couple of different steps that you can use in the integration process. Right now we will take the content modifier. I'll click on it, place it on the arrow and click again. Okay, now that we have the content modifier step selected, you can see at the bottom of the screen the properties of the content modifier are displayed. So we have 4 tabs: general, message header, exchange property and message body. Let's see what the message header tab can do. Let's add something to it. You can see the action field has 2 values. You can either create or delete. Let's create something in the header. I want a name in the header and the name should be Tom. Now let's test this. What if I told you we don't need this adapter to test how the content modifier works? All you have to do is click on the first arrow and click on the simulation start point. Click on the second arrow and click the simulation end point. Okay. Now that you have a simulation start point and end point, let's run the simulation. Click it. Okay. Now you can see there are 2 envelope icons next to the start point and end point. Let's click on the first one and see what's in there. So there are absolutely no headers. CPI has populated the properties with some default name value pairs, and there is nothing in the body. So this acts as our source. Now the content modifier tells CPI that we need to add a name value pair to the message and send it to the output. So let's click on the second envelope. You can see that CPI has added a name, Tom, to the header. Properties are populated with default values by CPI and the body is empty. And that's how you simulate and test individual steps in CPI. Let's go back to the content modifier. So these are the different types of data that you can bring into the modifier. In the next video, we will go into details about how these different types can be used inside the content modifier. Okay, now let's quickly go and have a look at what exchange property can do. As you can see, it looks exactly the same as the message header. Let's add something. You can see it has create and delete, just like the message header, and the source type, again, it's exactly the same. So in order for us to understand the difference between these two, we will have to look closely into what is a message and what is an exchange. SAP CPI uses Apache Camel framework to understand and execute iFlows during runtime. The Camel framework messages follow this basic message structure. They have headers, body and attachment. Attachments are used if emails or web services have additional information to be transferred separately. Other than that, we have headers and body. Both are of the type java.lang.object. So during runtime, the Camel framework, it puts this message into a container, and this container is called an exchange. The exchange has additional storage areas like exchange ID, where it stores a unique ID to identify the exchange. It has a storage area where it stores the details about an exception if an error happens in the iFlow during processing. An area to store whether the process flow is synchronous or asynchronous, called MEP, otherwise called as message exchange pattern. And it also has a properties area where it stores other additional information. Developers can make use of this area to store data throughout the lifetime of an iFlow. So this is what we call exchange properties. So as you can see, we have message header, message body, and exchange properties. These are the three items that are present in the content modifier. And if the exchange is a synchronous exchange, you have two messages in it. One is the input message and one is the response message. And if it is an asynchronous message flow, then you have only one message in it, which is the sender message or the incoming message. Exchange properties can live only within an exchange during runtime. It cannot be passed along to receivers like message headers. Now that we know the difference between exchange property and message header, let's go ahead and add a name value pair in the exchange property. Let's leave the type at constant. Let's also add some data to the message body. Change it to constant. Hello world. Okay. Now let's run the simulation. As you can see, there are no headers, just the default properties and no data in the body. After coming out of the content modifier, the message contains a name, Tom, and personal number in the exchange properties, and the body contains the value hello world. Now let's call our custom header value and our custom properties value into the body using expressions. Go to content modifier, message body, change this into expression and type this value in. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to take the value of name from header, take the value of personal number from property, and bring in the entire input message, that is the payload, as the office number. Let's see what happens when we run the simulation. Let's check the output message body. As you can see, the custom header value and the custom exchange property values are taken and populated here properly by CPI. Name is Tom from header and personal number ends with 263 from exchange property, and it is all here. The office number value is not populated. The reason being, there is no payload sent into the content modifier to be referenced and brought in using this expression. We don't have to go to Postman or introduce an adapter here to send any value for the body. Just click on the start simulation point. You can introduce custom headers, you can introduce custom properties and body content right here. You can also introduce files that you have from your laptop or desktop using the upload from file system button right at the bottom. I'll just mention a number here and click on OK. Now let's simulate this. First we'll have a look at the input message. You can see that the input message carries a number in its body. Now for the output message, the custom value from header, the custom value from exchange properties and our payload. They have all been brought inside the output body using expressions. Now let's have a quick look at how to delete key value pairs from the header. So go to content modifier, message header. So let's add a couple more key value pairs in here. So now that we have 4 key value pairs in our message header, let's introduce another content modifier to delete some of them. So we will change our simulation endpoint here. Go into the second content modifier, message header, add a line, delete, click on select. Using the first option, you can choose to delete specific key value pairs. I'll delete the one called ASD. Okay, so let's simulate. Let's see what the output is. So as you can see, ASD is not in the final output. You have only ASW and QWR. The first output has AST. The second output from the content modifier 2 does not have AST. Okay, let's now go ahead and delete everything. Star. When you say star, this is a wildcard entry, so this will delete every header that comes out of the first content modifier. Okay, run simulation. Alright, let's check. Even though the simulation was successful, you can see that these values are not deleted. This, I think, is a bug. What we have to do is we have to clear the simulation first and then add points again and rerun the simulation. Now you can see these values are present when the payload comes out of content modifier 1, and they've all been erased in the payload that comes out of content modifier 2. There is one more way of deleting items. You can choose to keep a few and delete the rest. I ask CPI to delete everything except name. Okay, let's clear this, add the points once more and rerun the simulation. There you go. The first payload has 4 lines, and then the final payload out of content modifier 2 has just the one key value pair named top. I hope you have learned something useful from this video. I will see you guys in another video. Bye.